Ipsos polling conducted exclusively for Global News finds that if an election were held tomorrow, 38% of decided voters would vote for the Liberal Party. That's unchanged from last month, but down 2 points from April. A quarter would vote for the Conservative Party, and 2 in 10 decided voters would cast their ballot for the NDP. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is getting high marks for his leadership. Just over half of those polled approve of the performance of the Liberal government under Justin Trudeau. That's up 2 points since May.
In Canadian federal politics, to get your party to 38% in any poll shows that you're in a really strong position. To win a majority in this country, typically anything over 36%, you're in play. We have the Liberals at 38% in this particular poll. So if they're considering having an election, this is as good a position as they've been in since we've been polling since the 2015 election. So they're looking really strong. It's consistently strong over the course of the pandemic. And when you combine that with their approval levels, with the approval of the Prime Minister as the preferred Prime Minister, they're looking like the odds-on favorite to really challenge for a majority in this next election. Well, governments tend to go into election campaigns at one level, and then campaigns matter, and particularly when you have unknown leaders, for example, like Erin O'Toole. And, Jagmeet Singh really just got introduced to Canadians in the last election campaign. There can always be surprises, but that would be trying to find the most negative way of looking at these polling numbers. These are the strongest numbers the government has had almost since they won the last election campaign. So they've got to be looking at this and saying, look, the potential for us to get a majority is pretty strong. Everything is lining up in the right direction. The only issue that they're really facing is where do they get their majority in terms of seats. So simply just increasing your vote percentages doesn't necessarily increase your seat numbers. You may end up in a situation where you're only winning the seats that you already have by a bit more this time. So the real question that the Liberals have to look at is how are they doing in Quebec and how are they doing in Western Canada? So in Quebec, they've got a reasonably good lead, about 6 points over top of the Bloc Québécois right now. That suggests that they'll be maybe challenging for a couple of those Bloc seats, so they might be able to pick up something there. And the best news that they would probably see out of these polling numbers is they have a pretty strong lead in British Columbia right now. Another place where there's a potential for the Liberal Party to pick up seats because the Conservative Party performed exceptionally well in BC this time or last time, and this time they're not. So there's potential there for them to form their majority, but they're not going to get it out of Ontario, for example, because they've already pretty much got everything that they're going to get.